Okay, I think I'm live. Everything should be running. I'm actually just doing a whole bunch of tests, making sure everything works for Liverpool tomorrow. But you know, this will be good material to make sure to test again. So I figured I'd stream the second half of this game. Tottenham. I was really curious to see what Tottenham were going to look like coming into this game, like legitimately. And I will tell you, they did not look good in that first half. I mean, dominated. Just straight dominated. They're going to make a few changes at halftime. Let's see what these changes end up being. Fernandez comes in. And Bentancur is going to come in. So let's see for who. Bentancur, I believe, is a left back. The changes will come up shortly in either case. Yeah, new season. Preview of the season. So some results have already happened. Arsenal started it off against the bottom club, Frank Lampard-led Coventry. Arsenal with the 3-0 victory looked pretty good. I watched the game, but it was during work hours. So, you know, Daddy's got a job now, so Daddy can't just sit here and watch TV with you guys anymore. Daddy's got to work during the week, so this is only going to be a weekend thing. Probably means not a lot of Champions League action unless it's somehow schedule fitting. Here's a cross in by Brentford. Gets headed out by Van Henke. I want to see who these subs are for Tottenham, and then I'll talk about some of my previews. I have the wireless mics here, so maybe I'll make sure to test that today so that I can make sure to have that. You know, it's good and bad. For wireless means I can move around and do stuff and you can still hear me, but I got to make sure the sound settings are right. Like I could go lay down on the couch when I'm really disappointed at what is going on, but I honestly don't think I will be this season. So hold on, let's see what happens. This is going to be a long throw into the box, gets knocked down, then knocked out by Richarlison. It didn't really even get knocked out. Here it comes back in. It's going to go back out for a corner. So somebody's asking for a shirt pull. It's the captain Collins, and he does, get dragged down. All right, so let's see. Bentancur came in for Bergvall, and Fernandez came in for Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher particularly looked like shit. I will say, did not look good, Conor Gallagher. I'm sorry, Conor. I don't think you're ever going to see this, but then I don't think you care. You would rather model jeans on fashion campaigns. All right, here comes a corner. Deep corner. Back post. Headed down. Headed in. Oh, save in the back of the net. There's three. Didn't take long. Who is that? 33. Coyote. That ball came in. It was to the back post, headed down, or headed back across and down, kind of to the top of the box. Rifled in. I don't know who took that shot. Might have been Django. Took that initial shot. Kinski did well to save it, but just kind of back into the danger area again. Yeah, it gets headed back across. Okay, Kinski might have taken that off the face when he saved it. Looks like he saves it once. Oh, it took a deflection. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, so the defender's back there, number 5. I don't know who that is. And then he's in front of Kinski. The ball is down. The defender deflects it, and Kinski gets it with his hand here and bounces back to the other. Oh, here come Tottenham. 47 shot, saved by Kelleher. And knocked out for a throw. Yeah, Tottenham have not looked good. And I mean, that's pretty much going to be a wrap, you know. That's on this game. Allows me to focus on stuff. I might not even mess with the wireless mics, because the wireless mics are cool and all, but you hear everything. So like if I'm in the other room, in the bathroom or something, and I forget to mute it, you hear that. But it might be fun if somebody knocks on the door and I walk away and the audio gets picked up. So I don't know. I don't think anybody's watching enough to have an opinion. But if you do, somehow drop a comment or engage with me or whatever and let me know. I don't have anything up in terms of the chat, comments, Twitch streams, stats, anything, because this is, again, just all about testing, You will notice new graphics. You see my face, my beautiful face, much more. That's what the people want, is this beautiful mug. So, you know, I give the people what they want. I will give you this beautiful gift of my face. But yeah, these graphics actually allow for that. Oh, here's a ball in, across, shot. Oh, saved by Kelleher. Who is that? Mikey Moore on that shot, running in from the left wing all the way across, untracked at the back. Ball comes all the way across. He takes a shot, tries to meg Kelleher, and Kelleher saves it. That was Tell on the other wing. But yeah, no, these graphics are much better. You'll much less cluttered, right? Much less cluttered on the graphics. Also transparent, so you can kind of see through them, right? You get to see the whole environment. You feel what I'm feeling, right? Better lights. I don't think I'm gonna do the green screen backdrop anymore, but it's still here if that's what the people want. You know, I'm a man of you people, so I will give you what you want. You know, just, you know, let me know. You got to engage with me and let me know. Here's a ball into the box for Brentford. Kind of gets kicked around, gets knocked out. In this game, I will say, so Conor Gallagher, I already let my opinions known be about what I thought about him. Did not play well. I don't think Richarlison has looked particularly good either, and he's just kind of been weak. Oh, here's the overhead kick. And then back. Penalty. Penalty for Brentford. Push in the back. Bad to worse for Tottenham. Jesus, we're not even 10 minutes into the second half. De Zerbi just looks like he smelled the stinkiest fart of all time right in his face. Like he's sitting on a crowded bus and there's a big fat dude right in front of him who ate the most amount of beans and marinated meat, like too much. Like he ate too much, and he's standing in front of him in the bus and just let out a fart in his face. He's trying to cover his nose like this. Yeah, De Zerbi. It's gonna be a long year for you, buddy. Think you're in a 3-year or 4-year deal? Are you gonna last that long? Conte didn't. That was still my favorite rant of all time, Antonio. The players? What about the players? It looks like Thiago on the penalty for Brentford. Kinski's like 2 steps into the goal. He hits the post. Oh, he hit the inside of the post and out. It's gonna stay in. I thought it almost went out for a corner, but Tottenham kept it in. Tottenham trying to run down the field with it. This could be the momentum shift that they might need. I mean, being a Liverpool fan, I'd say you can come back from a 3-goal deficit. I don't know if this Tottenham team can come back from, I mean, at halftime they said it's been 4 years since Tottenham came back from a 2-goal deficit. So don't know if that's in the philosophy of the club, because we all know Tottenham's a philosophy club, right? But here they come again on the attack. Tell takes on 2, beats both of them. He's going to get a corner out of this, I think. See this penalty again. He had Kinski beaten. Kinski went the other way, just didn't beat the post, went off the inside of the post and back into play. Oh, it wasn't a bad penalty. I mean, he rolled it on the ground. And Kinski, again, was not close. He was completely, Kinski went this way. It was on the ground that way. Here comes a corner. Here comes this corner for Tottenham. Taking short to Tonali. Back to Tell. Lifted back in. It's going to go back out for a corner with Coyote holding his head. The goal scorer, Coyote. But yeah, lots of upgrades to the streaming setup. Better graphics. Lighting's a lot better. The softbox will get here soon, so this lighting will be even softer on this beautiful face. Available for sponsorships, by the way. I don't have the sponsors bar going, which will probably end up living right here. As you can see, I've been redoing a bunch of this stuff, so, you know, I got to put the sponsors bar back somewhere. Here come Tottenham again, out on the left flank. Robertson with the ball in, gets intercepted, and now Brentford tried to come up that, it's the right for them. Tottenham get the ball back. Now Tonali near midfield. Robertson out wide. Here comes Van Heck. Out to Robertson, out wide. Tell. There's Tonali. Takes a shot, deflected and into the arms of Keller. Tonali tried to hit that from like 20, almost probably like 31 yards out, and didn't really get a piece of it. Dragged it on the ground, hits the defender's heel, and pretty easy for Kelleher in the end. Didn't really take a bad bounce, pretty manageable bounce here. So the big thing that we're all wondering is, we I was wondering what Tottenham were going to provide. Looks like nothing. Looks like it's not a management thing at Tottenham. So no wonder they struggled with mid-tier managers over the last few years. There's deeper issues at Tottenham. The players' mentality, which means the club mentality, must be that De Zerbi's a winning coach. Just like Conte was a winning coach. The players, what about the players? When you view that back now, it makes kind of a lot more contextual sense as to what he was saying. Anyway, I have a Tottenham fan who, here come Tottenham, Robertson into Richarlison, and Richarlison is just kind of standing around. They got to have somebody else on the bench because he is not doing shit. Now, here come Brentford on the counter, just the ball's a touch too far. Tonali back to Kinski, tries to play it out through the back, and will. Don't know if that was a good play, but it will work out. Now it comes all the way out to the right side. Anyway, I have a Tottenham friend who, here comes Mikey Moore, speaking of Tottenham, lifted to the back post. Nobody's really there. It comes all the way back to Tell. Was gonna bring it up, tries to take on 1 and 2, tries to cross it in, deflected, gets cleared out. Okay, so I have a Tottenham friend who says, worry about your own shit club. Those are his exact words. So forget Tottenham for a second. Let's talk about Liverpool, because at the end of last season, I was so frustrated, and nobody's watching this shit, right? Nobody's watching me sit here and watch TV at all, and I haven't been clipping anything or building a channel because I've been more focused on kind of getting used to this thing, building these graphics. Now I've gotten them in a place where I don't have to build them on the fly anymore. I think I've gotten them pretty good, and that's what today's test is really all about too, so that when I go back and watch it, I can kind of see. But this season, Mikey Moore, good save, Kelleher. What a save by Kelleher. Good keeper. Still wish we had him as our number 2, but, he continues to show why he deserves to be in number 1. That was decent play by Tottenham. Anyway, so I was very frustrated with just Arne Slot. Everybody was talking about that. It cost him his job, the way that he was just playing for 1-1 draws at a certain point, like not playing for disaster, That's not Liverpool. That's not why anybody watches or associates with Liverpool Football Club. And I became a Liverpool fan in 2005. And it was specifically, there were 2 moments, and both of them were Steven Gerrard hitting wonder strikes, one against Olympiacos, and one against West Ham in the FA Cup final. I think that one was technically 2006. Technically, and the year before was the Istanbul final. But the way that Gerrard and the rest of the club played made me a Liverpool supporter. And it was always, they played on the front foot all the time. That was the philosophy of the club. When it was good under Brendan Rodgers, they were an effective, well-oiled machine. Towards the end, Rodgers ran out of ideas. When Daglish came in to save the club, he preached that because that was in his philosophy, in his bones. That's why we all loved, there's that 6 months of, Roy Hodgson lasted 6 months playing that way at Liverpool. 6 months playing that way at Liverpool. And Roy Hodgson inherited not that good of a squad, and playing that way, I think he was like 11th in the table, and he did not get much of a leash there, right? And then that's when Daglish came in and kind of rescued the club again. Brought in Klopp, who we all loved Klopp. Just the way that he played, the things that he said, relatable, the manager that you want. Laughed with us, got angry with us, got passionate, and played on the front foot all of the damn time. The Liverpool philosophy and gegenpressing are very aligned, are very, 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 very aligned, and all those years that Man City cheated and they were the only ones. I mean, we were putting point tallies in the 90s and not winning the league, because Man City was just allowed to do whatever they wanted to without any, and they seem to keep on avoiding somehow any sort of discipline. Every year seems to be the year that they're going to punish Man City, and then every year nothing happens. So whatever at this point. But, that squad, and Klopp built that from some of the players that he inherited and that he made work were not none of them were big names, and all the big names had left by that point. And so he kind of rebuilt it from scratch, and he should have won more titles than he ended up doing. And the title the year after he left, I think for all Liverpool fans, unofficially, that'll be Klopp's title, right? That'll be for Klopp, because that was his squad. Now, the thing that Slot did do in that 1 year, or what was interesting, is that instead of being all attack all the time, we still had that instinct to play that killer ball, but you could see the passing was a little bit more controlled. The buildup was a little bit more controlled instead of always being incisive. But we were still incisive, and that's why we scored. It was like the best of both worlds. And I said it multiple times that year, and I wish I had started the stream then. This is all fine and dandy, and this looks great when we're winning the league, but what is this going to be like when it's not going to be the same? When all those little bounces, they don't instinctually just win. And that's what happened last year, is spent enough time training under Slot that instinct went away. And in the Premier League, those squads that are playing Liverpool, mid-table clubs that are playing Liverpool, by the way, they're going to take Moore out and bring on James Maddison. Tottenham will. They're also going to finally take Richarlison out. Probably bring in Solanke, I would think, as a like for like. But Richarlison has not done much. Yeah, it is Solanke. But anyway, so all of that said about Slot's Liverpool, I mean, I did start streaming midway through last year, and that's pretty much right when that decline started happening. It was maybe a little bit before that, but I had a song written last year called 90 Plus Pain for all of the times that we dropped points in the 90th minute, because we just, in the final minutes of the game, we just lost that instinct, and the other squads were playing that we had it. And those mid-table clubs that Liverpool play, they're going to be amped up every time they play us, and they're going to play a low block. Like Everton at Anfield is going to play a low block. Everton at Anfield on a Sunday afternoon, 12:30 British time, 4:30 a.m. Pacific time game is going to play a low block. So you got to be able to beat that. So anyway, it's honestly a shame that Slot won the league in his first season. I think that is what did him in. There's no way. It's like when you step out on the golf course and you birdie the first hole, and then you're like, well, I'm not going to do any better than this. I'm going home now, right? So you're just, it's like, okay. But anyway, all of that said, past gripes aside, let's get to this year and this manager and this squad. Iraola, first and foremost, love his style and his philosophy. High press, attacking, win the ball and go directly, 2 passes and in. That is Liverpool football. Incisive, decisive, suffocating. So I think philosophy-wise, it meshes really well with what the fans' expectations are, right? And what the supporters expect out of Liverpool Football Club. So that in itself is intriguing. His ability to work with young players is intriguing, especially for certain players like Ngamoa, Trey Naoni, and see what he does with them. There's a few others there. There have been some squad changes. Konate left on a free, but not only did we sign Arujo on a loan, but Xhaka is back. And I will say, so I watched the Como preseason game where Xhaka played that 45 minutes, and it's only 45 minutes, it's only the preseason, but good God, is he a monster. He scored, he had a hand in the build-up to the goal. He knew where to be at the right time, and physically he's young, so he's fast, he's strong, and learning from Van Dijk, his positioning's already good, but learning from Van Dijk, it's gonna be, that's gonna be quite the pairing. Leone's gonna come back. Arujo's interesting. Arujo, you can see he plays a little wild. He does play like a little wild, which is good and bad. Could see it getting into trouble, like he makes a rash challenge at a time that he shouldn't. And again, that could either save the game or it could give up the penalty to lose the game, right? I don't know yet. So we're gonna have to see what that ends up being like. I think Iraola is going to have a positive effect. And other players like Frimpong, who have seemed kind of lost, he might actually have a positive effect on them too. So Arujo can play on the right side. Frimpong, Bradley is going to come back there. So, there's some options. Now, Curtis Jones left. That deal got finalized. He went to Inter Milan. Munoz has been signed, but there's been a lot of talk about both Mbaye and Bradley Barcola, and both of those have supposedly been done deals for a while. That just adds, new elements to the attack like crazy. There's also been persistent rumors of Minte in the midfield for Brighton, and apparently Liverpool had one bid rejected already for him. So that also would be another interesting possibility. Now Iraola took a while to gel at Bournemouth, right? And it was also clear early in the preseason that players did not have, and this is a World Cup year too, but players that Iraola requires a style of intensity that players need conditioning for, and that especially the first few preseason games, you saw that Liverpool starting out well, and then really, I don't know if, dropping off is the right term because they lost those games. So that'll be very interesting to track. But all of that being said, I'm really, really, really excited to see. Will we be at the top of the table? Too early to tell, right? And I don't think anybody going into Arne Slot's first year was expecting us, because we had just the year before just made qualification for, oh, here's a long throw by Tottenham, punch out. No, long throw by Brentford. We had just barely qualified for Champions League, just like it was a fourth place. So nobody was coming in going, Slot's going to win this. But I think Klopp had a lot of bad luck with injuries, with his squad, with results, with referee decisions. I mean, there were certain incidents that they instituted VAR, and they pointed to decisions that went against Liverpool that were clear and obvious errors in the Slot time. And Slot, Slot's not a little bitch. And that's another thing that everybody appreciates about him. And so he didn't he complained, but he didn't, constantly bitch about him. But a lot of crazy shit happened. And then a global pandemic knocked out the 1 year that he was going to win the league, and everybody was going to get to celebrate. Like, it's a wild time. It was a wild ride all around. So much stuff happened. Nobody was expecting Slot to come right out of the gate and win the league in the first year. But again, I think it's a testament to the club that Klopp built, because for Slot, everything went right. There was a certain, here come Brentford again, Thiago. Ooh, that wasn't far off. That wasn't far off from being 4-0. So I don't think the expectation ever is that Areola is going to come out and win the league. I think, okay, if he struggles early, you understand it, but there is a certain floor to the struggles. And think about when Roy Hodgson came in, he was 11th mid-season, right? First year, and he got the can. So the leash isn't that long. Areola is not Roy Hodgson, different style of manager, but Slot got the sack after season after winning the Premier League. So you would think that the leash isn't as long as the entire season. Quite frankly, as much, honestly, as excited as I am about Areola, I will concede that fact that if things go horribly wrong, like by mid-season, the leash isn't there to let him do this, right? Do this. Sorry, got to learn to point to the wrong place. Do a Tottenham. It isn't there for that. With all of that being said, though, I'm very, very, very excited to see his squad in action, even with the players that he has. The bounce backs I think Isak is going to have a big bounce back year. I think Wirtz is going to have a big year. I think a bunch of players are going to come back from injuries as the course of time progresses throughout the season. It's almost going to be like new signings that we forgot about that we had on the squad. I do think we do, and some of these links that are close, I am fingers crossed on those ones, kind of going, yeah, hope so, because that really makes that squad come together. So I'm excited. I almost thought last year, since nobody's watching this shit, about why I'm doing this. Why am I waking up early as fuck in the morning to watch this stupid thing? Am I that insane to keep on doing this while nobody's watching? So, spend some time soul searching. And in that time, so did Liverpool. And I have to say, with new souls abound this season, I am cautiously optimistic about what we're going to see. That is my long rant about the Liverpool preview. It's different than what I'm sure you're hearing every other talking football head say on YouTube, but I'm a real person. This is how I talk. Watch my channel throughout the course of the season and see how it goes. I don't know. This isn't the channel where I predict the future on, where I'm the magnificent psychic. That's another channel. But this is the channel where you can chill with me and watch Premier League football. And just watch me react to all this stupid shit that happens. And the more people that join, the more cool shit, interaction shit that I'm going to build, like chat, messages coming up and all that stuff. So join me, subscribe, like, and more. See, I had to pause for that because I'm going to cut all of that as a video. I got to get better about that stuff. But, I got to make workflows easy on myself because I'm doing like 8 billion things all the time. So I got to make sure I do things easily. So from that, now I can just, instead of recording this separately afterwards, I can just cut a video from this preview thing. That's going to be my Liverpool preview. And that's where we go. There's another hopeful shot by Matthias Stell. Nowhere close. YouTube has no views. Let's see what's going on Twitch. I'm live. Nobody's watching. Nobody watch my rant about how nobody's watching. It's cool. That is cool. But it sounds pretty good. Like the sound, I can verify does work. So yeah. It's like, is that Callum Wilson? That is Callum Wilson. When did he join Brentford? I need to get more news sources at the bottom too. I need to get used to talking to nobody. People don't pay attention when I'm on stage anyway. Oh, yeah, he joined after West Ham got relegated. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think this is going to put Brentford up with, unless Brentford score another goal, then they're going to go be top of the table. I hope their supporters start chanting, "We're going to win the league." I hope they score one more goal and their supporters at the end of it are chanting, "We're going to win the league," sarcastically. Here's a ball in. He's gonna get headed behind for a corner. Headed to behind for a corner. I'm not gonna have the. I learned one thing. I'm not gonna have the camera track me because then, otherwise, it'll track me doing my shady background activities. Here's a corner. Oh, Kinski gets down and saves it. I mean, kind of right at him, but you never know with this keeper. Seems to be an adventure. Like, you would think whatever Hugo Lloris is doing right now, he'd be better than whatever Tottenham have in goal. I don't know if he's still with LAFC. I also wouldn't fault him if he didn't want to come back. Yeah, he's with LAFC. So I would not want to go back to Tottenham if I were him either. Regardless of how hot and muggy it is in LA. Just chilling, man. He's 39, living in LA, playing in the MLS. No stress. Here's a free kick by Tottenham into the box. Gets defended, headed out. I guess I can remove the includes paid promotion if I'm not displaying the sponsors. That's a thought, right? I don't know if it makes people click more or less. Probably just looks pretentious, honestly, if you have 6 followers and then a paid sponsor. The other thing about Brentford scoring one more goal is Tottenham would be at the bottom of the table after the first meaningful day of play. And potentially after the first week, because here's a ball into the box. Cross the cross. Got my tell. I think the possession stats are a little bit of a misnomer. Tottenham have had more possession in the second half, but that's because Brentford are just like, whatever. Tottenham have not really looked. I mean, they've had a few shots on goal, but I wouldn't say there's been any sustained time where they've looked threatening. So we got 2 more minutes. Let's see if they can provide anything, show anything. Who is that? Spence? And Dogi trying to win a foul, but ends up being judged to have committed the foul. I mean, it should have been 4. That penalty was very unfortunate for Thiago. Here come Brentford again. Oh. Lewis Potter gets seen out for a goal kick. Here's Tottenham doing nothing except fielding the ball from an offside position or coming back from an offside position to field the ball. Man, everything with the scoreboards. Oh, here's Brentford. Oh, corner. That was Callum Wilson from a tight angle, almost squeezing one in. Kinski did not parry that into a dangerous area, to which I would say, if he found a way to parry that from that angle into a dangerous area, first of all, it's amazing that Callum Wilson got a shot off from that angle and forced to save. But if Kinsey somehow found a way to parry that into a dangerous area, you'd be like, dude, you're doing this on purpose. Like, the amount of times I've seen Kinski spill into a dangerous area, and I've only watched Kinski play for like half a year. So I didn't know who Kinski was in 2025. It's only come on my radar in 2026, and it's only because of the amount of spillages he's had. You're gonna have 4 minutes of stoppage time. Apparently, they've instituted some sort of rules or regulations to not have runaway stoppage time, which that was another thing that I mean, again, I wrote a song called 90 Plus Pain that I never released because it seemed like stoppage time last year was always against us, never in our favor. Brentford are going to get a corner. Still room for one more. I'm kind of cheering for it because I want Brentford to be at the top and Tottenham to be at the bottom. Though I also hope we score 5 against Newcastle, so it would be short-lived. Here's the ball in, punched out by Kinski, lashed at by number 6, Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko. Robertson got substituted, right? At some point. I don't see him on the pitch. There he is, a right back. Why do they have him playing on the right side? It's odd. That's one of those that Here's a cross in by Robertson on the corner. Gets headed, and here come Brentford, and that's going to be the final whistle. I hope that was just like a last-minute thing. He just found himself in that position, but Robertson has definitely got to play on the left side. You miss out on his brilliant left foot deliveries from that angle if you don't. So that's interesting. Also interesting for Tottenham, 3-0. Also, this is going to have reverb on, isn't it? Because I'm pretty sure I never took the reverb settings off. Yeah, so it sounds like I'm talking in a hall. That's good. Let me just go ahead and do that now so that I don't forget to do that tomorrow. I wonder what that's going to be fun. Hold on. Let me turn this off first. That's going to be fun to go back and watch or listen to. Having music settings, reverb settings on the entire time. No wonder when I looked on the stream, it was like nobody's watching, because even if you watch for a second, you listen to the sound, you'd probably be like, that's annoying. There's a guy in the stands doing this for Tottenham. So, I guess it's fitting, because where I left this off last year, I watched Tottenham narrowly escape. And so I get, and that was after Liverpool had played everybody plays at the same time. The Liverpool result had finished and Tottenham were still playing. So it's only, I guess, fitting that I pick back up on this stream watching Tottenham lose. Spurs supporters. You guys are in for a long season. United, you're coming back down to earth. I did not see the Leeds Forest game at all. That was 0-0 at halftime. Brentford's teasing the Brentford players teasing the Spurs supporters. So, all right. That's it, guys. I'm going to go eat breakfast. And join tomorrow. Nobody's watching, but join tomorrow. Just in case you do see this. 8:30 Pacifico. All right. Peace.